Hey everyone, I'm excited to share with you guys one green flag for Rivian stock investors, and that's been an easing of supply chain pressures for Rivian, which is allowing it to really ramp up production. So let's look at the details. Rivian CFO Claire McDonough talked about these factors in a June 15th conference with investors. So let's get into it. She said, uh, we've seen a material improvement in the broader supply base and supply chain. That's really good news because supply chain pressures has been a major bottleneck for car manufacturers, and more specifically for smaller car manufacturers that don't have the negotiating power of companies like Ford or GM. And so Rivian has been one of those that's been constrained because of supply chain pressure. So the company introduced and ramped their new in-house Enduro drive unit, and that's been a key enabler for them to really mitigate some of the supply chain constraints that they've seen. So in their early days of operation, they looked at what they were going through, they looked at what was working, what was in shortage, and they developed an in-house drivetrain that mitigates some of those pressures, that makes it easier for them to ramp up production. So they announced as part of their first quarter earnings call the successful introduction of the Enduro drive unit and the LFP battery pack into their EDV, the electric delivery van. Remember, Rivian has a deal with Amazon to deliver 100 up to 100,000 electric delivery vans. And so that sale is sort of locked in, and so the key there is ramping up production of that, delivering those cars, and delivering those cars efficiently at lower cost. Because if you're going to deliver those at higher costs, your profit per car will not be as high. So a couple of weeks ago, we built our very first saleable R1 that were configured with that Enduro drive unit. So now, not only are they using the Enduro drive unit for their electric delivery vans, but they're also using it for their R1 models, the R1S and the R1T. So that's good news as well. The CFO goes on to say that it's now alleviating many of the R1 roadblocks that we've experienced in the past from a supply base. So the new Enduro drive unit allows it to sidestep some of the supply chain issues the company was having because it requires fewer parts. And so we see more of a material acceleration in our production in the back half of the year, as now we're allowing the introduction and production of Enduro into the R1. So by incorporating that, they will be able to accelerate production in the back half of the year, which remember they will need because they set out a goal for 50,000 unit production in 2023. If you're measuring by their first quarter output, they were behind that pace. So they do need to accelerate in the back half of the year to meet that goal. And so we've seen just a handful or a sliver of that production in the second quarter time frame, but that will be a key catalyst as we work into the third and fourth quarters. So it's going to be a huge positive for Rivian ramping up this production into the third and fourth quarter. And if they do meet those targets for the third and fourth quarter, that will put the company at a higher production run rate. And then going into 2024, the outlook, the production forecast for 2024 could potentially be much higher than the 50,000 in 2023 if all goes according to plan. So really good news for Rivian stock investors, and one nice green flag to look forward to. All right, but that's all I've got for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.